Here's Marco.
Hello, everyone. So I think every good entrepreneurship story starts basically with a passion, right? That's me a few years ago. After a few years, I had to change my expectations of what I would become, so I went to uni and decided to just study space technology, not become the astronaut. I also took some computer science classes on the way and entrepreneurship classes on the way, and after some time I was there and I was ready. I was a full-blown engineer and I was waiting for all of this world where I would come out and I would engineer these awesome things just like I saw in all of these movies. And then I was employed in a real company. And I'll show you the typical engineering workflow. If you're not yet working, this is what's waiting for you. So imagine you get an interface data sheet and it contains the information that your star tracker just is 50 grams more heavy than you thought last week. Then usually you put that into your Excel files in which you have the mass budget and the center of gravity budget. You put that in the other progress reports and delta V budgets. You put that in the next budgets and so on and so forth. And because you're a few hundred engineers working on the same thing, you actually forget about some of these on the way. And when you forget about them, you start having inconsistencies. Remember this Mars rover which just crashed down, or the Mars lander, just because someone was calculating in feet and the other one in meters? Yeah. So I counted in my company. I counted on our server. Our satellite was not yet launching, still a few years, and I counted there were 20,000 official documents, like with 4 signatures and reviewed and everything. And there were actually 300,000 unofficial documents, all on our servers. So I asked, what's that? And then people told me the joke in the industry, which is you're not allowed to launch your satellite before your documentation at least weighs as much as your satellite. That's when I understood the whole thing. And I was asking, okay, has this always been like this? And I looked at Saturn V documentation, and if you can read this here, it says, in those cases where the numbers in the fact sheet differ with the text, the fact sheet contains more current information. That's original 64. And this is also the same kind of sentences we find on our own documents today. Great, right? So many years, all of this technology we've heard about this conference, and this is how we still build satellites, rockets, and everything. That's the state of the art. So we thought, isn't it then a wonder that we see all of these headlines that everything is costing more? Maybe it's just me, maybe it's just my company. So I asked around, I go to the experts and ask them, and they tell me, we're working as if it were the 70s. So at least they know. So I was wondering, can we do anything about it? Okay. Let's start. So let's think, if you would start the whole thing over, how would you do it? You would probably start with your information that you have. And you would probably put it in a database, not in a document. And then probably you put all the other information in there and probably also some formulas. And once this is all connected, you want to know when something changes, right? You would just get a notification. For our generation, that's normal. We get that on Facebook every day. For every engineer, you always have to ask your colleague what happened. Right? So you would actually get an information, see what happened, and see all of the results, see all the changes ripple through your system. That's how I imagined systems engineering would work. And then if you have documents, they should be updated by themselves, right? Why should you have a highly paid engineer copy-pasting the same information over and over again? And could we please do that in the web browser? Because that would be really nice. Okay, so as a programmer, we thought, let's go ahead, let's just build this thing. Can't be so hard, right? So I met a nice team, had some people, we started actually programming the whole thing. Obviously, we needed some money on the way, so we got a few million in investment. We moved into our offices. Very nice. No, I'm just joking. We didn't get any investment, because if you don't build anything which is Tinder for cats, it's actually not so easy to get investment. Everybody will tell you there's money out there and you just have to go there. There's early money and late money, just nothing in the middle. Yeah, tell that to an entrepreneur who's really looking for money, who just has a great idea, has a good team. It's not so easy, so you need alternative solutions. So here's the real story how it went. Actually, we had days and night jobs, right? We heard it before. So during the day, the engineer at the big company, and at night and at the weekends, coding the things. Most of our code is actually written on some of our train rides. So then we got some money from the famous FFF, right? Which is friends, family, and fans. Sorry, fans. So these are people who actually believe in us. They know us. And these people, they said, okay, I don't know so much about space. That's the same thing the investors told me. I know about apps, but I don't know so much about space or industry at all. So now these people said, no, but I believe in you. And that's why they gave us some money and we could actually start working. And this is our office. So it's actually our living room, but you know, you take what you get. And then this is how you start building the things. That's building code on the train while commuting on the train rides to my day job. So this is how the actual work was done. And slowly but steadily, we went from things which we put on some pieces of paper to some software. And then it just appeared. We had a software with which you could concurrently build satellites. You could, with many engineers, do exactly what I hope to do. You could all work on the same thing at the same time. We would even build interfaces for these old guys to still use Word and Excel so that they could use what they always knew. And we went out and we showed the customers we've talked before to, obviously, that they wanted these things, that this is what we have. And we acquired some customers. We acquired small customers. But I'm not going to lie, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. People will always tell you, your idea is great, and then ask them to sign. I had flights booked for a contract. It was a few €100,000. 3 days before this contract was signed, it was cancelled. It's not always easy. You're not always getting there directly. But actually, sometimes you get lucky. If you're hard enough working on it, if your idea is a good one, and if you have a problem you're solving, this happens. That's when last month we just signed our first big contract with Airbus. Sometimes big companies have a good eye for that. They try to take the chances. They work with startups like us. We are lucky. We're a software company. If you build hardware, it's going to be even harder. But you have to work with them. You have to convince them one by one. And we're not there yet. I know about these minimum wages we heard before. These are the cars. One of these is from my co-founder, and I only tell so much, it's silver. So although we're not there yet, what do I want to give you with you when you go home today, right? So I think somebody else said it better than me. We are the people we have been waiting for, right? There's not anybody coming and doing the thing you have in your mind. You have to go and do it. You have to go and build this thing. And if you build it with Valispace, so that it doesn't look like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.